Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Great to be here with you today on this Training Thursday show, where the topic is going to be, does exercise enhance or lower immunity? So right now, we are in a world of basically the unknown. We don't know necessarily what's going to come our way this fall, this winter. And if you're like me and many other people in our global health-based community, it's just basically having the faith and the knowledge that you're doing everything that you can in order to improve your own natural immune system. So what we're trying to do is just say, okay, we can't be perfect. Nobody can be perfect. But if we can do our best to add things and layer things into our life that's only going to benefit our immune system, well, let's do that, right? Let's do that to the best of our ability. Nobody's perfect. I'm far from perfect, and I don't expect you to be perfect. But the good news is this: you don't need to be perfect in order to be able to boost your immune system. So a lot of different opinions on does exercise help or hurt your immune system. But the truth is this, is that the facts have always been there in terms of this question. Like, this is an easy question to answer. The biggest question is, when we look at exercise, we have to start to define that as to what's the proper amount of exercise. I'm going to start there, then I'm actually going to go through the clinical study that proved this out, and then I'm going to teach you how to then apply this in your own life, all right? So let's get into it right now. This is directly from PubMed. That's basically a peer-reviewed site of, not site, but peer-reviewed articles that are all on this specific website from the U.S. National Institute Library of National Library of Medicine. And I'm only on there 2-3 times a day. You'd think I'd be able to say that sentence a little bit easier. But this is free. This is really for everyone to be able to use. And I actually have the extended study here as well. And I'm going to link to that. So you can head on over to stephencabral.com/2036. And that's where the results will be if you'd like to take a look at them. All right, so let's start right with it. So it basically says, this is what we're looking at in terms of exercise. So this is directly from peer-reviewed, published medical work. Changes in lifestyle and physical inactivity lead to increased incidence of many chronic, non-communicable diseases, which are the major causes of death, 36 million each year, and health problems in the world. Physical inactivity, such as smoking, increases risk for cancer, cardiovascular and chronic lung disease, and diabetes by 20 to 30%, and shortens lifespan by 3 to 5 years. On the other hand, regular exercise, like a miracle drug, has many beneficial effects on the body and protects against those diseases. The key recommendation of the recently published World Health Organization guidelines regarding physical activity is adults should do at least 150 minutes a week of moderate intensity or 75 minutes a week of vigorous intensity aerobic physical activity, or an equivalent combination of moderate and vigorous intensity aerobic activity. However, the research report recommends that future investigations need to evaluate the effects of physical activity intensity at fixed energy expenditure doses. This is due to the effect of exercise on the physiological parameter, which depends upon several factors such as the frequency of each bout and the total duration of the exercise protocol. Although new studies have shown that the site of cytokine production and action are beyond immune system, still they have been considered as secreted proteins which regulate all aspects of innate and adaptive immunity. Therefore, there is a dynamic equilibrium, how many times have you heard me say that, between pro and anti-inflammatory cytokines, the time course of cytokine release, the local cytokine milieu, and the existence of stimulating and inhibitory factors. All right, we're going to keep it at that. So what does all that mean? It means this: smoking, cardiovascular disease, high blood pressure, stroke, cancer, top leading causes of disease in the world. Leads to 36 million deaths per year across the world, right? And that's on the shorter side, I would say. So we've got that, but then we have something that literally conventional medicine called a miracle drug in terms of exercise. So they said, okay, here's how much exercise we've proven to help offset the 4 leading causes of death: cardiovascular, blood pressure and stroke, diabetes, and cancer, right? All right, so we've got that. So we've got 150. But let's, again, I've talked about this on previous Training Thursday shows, but let's break this down further. That's 30 minutes, 5 days a week. That's what they're recommending. Notice they said aerobic, though. And I know, again, listen, I've been in this industry a long time. I've had my personal training certification for 25 years. Started with ACE, American Council on Exercise. Then I went to the National Academy of Sports Medicine, then the Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist, and many others, right? Great certifications, great organization, great people, love the industry. So I get it. And we're more about strength training, resistance training, high intensity interval training, sprint interval training, etc. But as I go back, and like I said, as I get a little older, I understand the benefit of aerobic-based training as well. One's with oxygen and one is without. And technically, you really do need both. You really do. And some anaerobic work definitely enhances aerobic-based capacity. However, in terms of the immune system and what we're looking at for a lot of these cardiovascular issues, we actually need the cardiovascular benefits as well. And a lot of that does come from cardiovascular. So that's a topic that I've talked about on a previous show. Just whacked my microphone there. I've talked about on many previous shows. We'll link up the Training Thursday shows. If you want to go back, definitely check them out. But let's put the type of exercise aside just for a moment, okay? So 30 minutes, 5 days a week. Great. Or 75 minutes of vigorous exercise each week as well. So let's say we do the math there as well. What are we looking at? 12 minutes or so, not even quite 12 minutes, 11 minutes per day. But really we're not going to do it per day. So we're looking at, let's say 15 minutes or so, 5 times a week. But, and that's great. That would be more like interval based training. And you could definitely do that. You could do a couple minute warm up and then you could do 60 seconds on, 60 seconds off. Although that's really not enough rest. It'd have to be more like 20 seconds on, 40 seconds off in order to be able to actually recover and do a full all-out sprint. But again, workout programs, another day. What you can see here, though, is 150 minutes per week for most people is a normal amount of exercise that they should be getting. First question, are you getting 150 minutes of exercise each week? And as I'm about to state and show you in the study, it doesn't need to be every day. But what it should be is more days than not. Or, as I talked about in my book, The Rain Barrel Effect, as I've talked about for the last many years on this podcast, is that you could even do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then pick a weekend day to work out, or a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and maybe Sunday as well. So now you have 4 days a week. You've got a day off in between. And now, and if you're doing 4 days a week, how much do you need? Well, you need 40 minutes. You can do 40 minutes, right? 40 minutes 4 times a week. You could even do 20 minutes anaerobic resistance training and then 20 minutes cardio after your workout. You could do intervals sometimes. So when you look at it, 40 minutes 4 times a week, 30 minutes 5 times a week is going to make it happen. Okay, so now we know what the miracle drug is, 150 minutes a week of exercise. I'm telling you right now, if you're not doing it, I want you to get there. I want you to try. If you're doing 0 days a week, 1's okay. It's better than 0. If you're doing 0 to 1, try for 2. 2 days a week is phenomenal. It really is. Now, I know it's 150. That's the recommended. But I've had many great mentors. I've looked up to many great people. I'm telling you, twice a week, if you can do anaerobic twice a week, let's just say it's Tuesdays and Fridays, right? So you don't go more than 3 days off. And you can do 20 minutes with weights and 20 minutes with cardio. I'm telling you right now, Dr. Wayne Westcott, one of the guys that I was studying when I was a young I don't know how old I was when I was studying Wayne Westcott, 22 years old. Really showed remarkable results in seniors, turning back the clock like 10, 20 years. So even if you can just do 2 days a week, remember, if 5's intimidating, try 2. Pick any 2 days a week that you want. Ideally, separate them by a couple days. And I'm going to show you why in just a moment. All right, so now we have just an overview of what you need to do. Now, how much is too much? Well, let's figure out what went on with this study. So here's exactly what they said. The data confirms, this is a verbatim quote, the data confirm a positive effect of moderate exercise on immune function and a decrease in susceptibility to viral infection by inducing Th1 cytokine profile shifts. However, prolonged and overtraining exercise causes numerous changes in immunity that possibly reflects physiological stress and immune suppression. Meaning they actually looked at some specific immune markers such as interleukin 6, interleukin 10, TNF alpha, and interleukin 4 was looked at as well. And what they found was that people that did moderate amounts of exercise, not people, this was actually done in a lab. So what they found was that moderate amounts of exercise actually boosted the immune system. It actually helped fight against viral susceptibility. And it was proven to work. However, overtrained subjects were found to actually have a decreased immune system and possibly more susceptibility. Pretty remarkable, right? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, the workout itself doesn't necessarily matter. And I know that's going to sound crazy, but what matters is the intensity for you. So we can talk about moderate and advanced and intermediate all day long, but it's really based on someone else's numbers, not yours. So let's go back to the first example, 150 minutes a week. That's 30 minutes, 5 days a week, 40 minutes, 4 days a week. If you're doing 5 days a week at 30 minutes and you're not sore the next day, you're not tired the next morning, you're doing the right amount of exercise for you. But if I were to take an untrained person and I were to train them their first week, and they haven't trained for a decade, maybe two, maybe their whole life, and I put them through a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday workout program, 5 days a week, 30 minutes each time, and they have them doing, doesn't matter if it's aerobic or anaerobic, even, more intense if it's anaerobic because of the stress on the nervous system, then what am I going to do? Well, that person is now overtraining. They went from 0 to 100, right? They're literally burning out their body. So what's happening? Well, they're suppressing their immune system over time. So I will let you know that this was over a 6-week period of time. This is important because what I'm telling you right now is if I took that person untrained, had them do 5 days a week, 30 minutes, and I had them do that for 6 weeks, I'm overtraining them. Because what that person really needed was start with walking. And then it might be work up to Tuesday and Friday for that 30 minutes, right? And it might be body weight or it might just be cardio. And then I might bring them in 2 weeks from them to 2 weeks from then to 3 days a week. And then another month, I bring them to 4 days a week. And then in another month, I bring them to 5 days a week, right? So I'm working their body's capacity for stress. I'm improving their body's capacity for stress. I talked about this on Tuesday's show with the brain. Your body has a certain capacity for stress based on your current fitness level. If you are untrained, 150 minutes a week is going to be way too much exercise. If you are doing already 5 days a week at 30 minutes, then you're good to go, right? But for you, what might be overtraining? Well, it might be 6 days a week, which is what they did in the study. And it might be 30 minutes, 40 minutes, or it might just be really pushing your nervous system to the max and not recovering. Here's the interesting thing. It was 6 weeks because they found and this study was done with 2 weeks off, but you don't need to give yourself 2 weeks off, that the body was able to recover. So in athletics, so for example, I've worked with Olympic athletes before, world champions. I've worked with professional athletes in the NFL and golf, etc. And what we looked at was a periodization table. So when they had to compete during their season, guess what we weren't doing? We were not going for personal bests. We were not going for PRs. We were going and peaking about 3 weeks or so before their season started. And then we would do maintenance-based training with like 1 day a week to push it to be able to keep that capacity at that high level, but not overtraining. And then we allowed them to go into their sport. So this is really important because the human body, although we're not in the season for our athletics, what we can do is we don't have to train every day. For most people, if you're training every day or 6 days a week and you're really pushing it, and you're doing that for 6 weeks or more without an unloading week. So we call it an unloading week. So what we used to do in my studio was we would do 4 weeks to 6 weeks on a program. We'd be peaking by the last 2 weeks. We would be maxing what we can do for 8, 10, 12 reps, whatever the person was doing. And then what we would do is we would go into their new program. But their new program was only about 50% of the load that they would typically be doing, or I should say 50% of the volume. So we wouldn't be going super light. We would just be doing less of volume, and that would allow their body to recover. So there's many different ways to do this. The most practical way is to follow my previous podcast I did on a graduated exercise program. I've taught this in my Health Results Accelerators. I teach this inside of the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute. But what you want to do is take where you are right now, and I just gave you an example, and slowly work yourself up. So you might hear this podcast or someone else's and say, I need to do 150 minutes a week. You don't. If you're doing nothing right now, you need to do 2 20-minute workouts a week, right? 2 30-minute workouts a week maximum. That's it. And once you stop being sore or feeling tired from that, then you add in a third one and make it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or make it Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Keep a day in between. Then you won't be overtraining. You'll be allowing your body to recover. If you do this, you're going to boost your immune system. You're going to be less susceptible to viruses. It states it right here in Conventional Medicine. This is their website, Conventional Medicine, right? It's all of our website because integrative health practitioners, doctors of naturopathy, follow all types of science and medicine. We don't follow just one type, but I'm letting you know right now, even conventional medicine says exercise helps to boost the immune system, helps beat viruses, and decreases a decrease in susceptibility to viral infection. That's a direct quote. However, overtrained individuals actually weaken their immune system. So hopefully this was helpful. Thank you again for tuning into another Cabral Concept. Of course, if this was helpful, feel free to pass it along to anyone else you believe it could serve, and comment below. I'd love to hear where you're at right now in your exercise program, and if you're going to be adding in just a little bit more this week. All right, take care, everyone. Thanks so much for just tuning into today's show. And before you go, I want to make sure that you know that for the very first time ever, we are running a big 21-day functional medicine detox. So if you've been looking for a full body reset, a whole body reset in order to improve your sleep, improve your mood, lose a couple pounds, decrease the inflammation, rebalance hormones, get rid of those food sensitivities, and really feel so much lighter, so much more energetic just at the end of the 7 days, but hopefully you're continuing on for the 21 days. Well, that is what we have going on this September. We are starting as a community on September 20th. We're all joining together. You can start a week before, you can start a week later. That's okay. But we are joining together for a 7, 14, or 21-day detox. But the difference this time is this, that we are not providing support just for 7 days. We're providing support for the entire 21 days. We want people to make this their best and healthiest fall and winter ever. While most people, and again, rightly so, most people are worried about their overall health, and I get it. We want to make sure that you feel strong, that you feel optimized, that you are ready to go into this fall and winter-based season, and we want to be there for you. We are going to provide you free support every step of the way, free support videos every day. We're going to answer your questions every day and just be there for you, again, as a community with over 12,000 people inside of this global health community. It's an organic group of people, like-minded people that all join together. We didn't advertise, we didn't ask them to join, but we love it. People are referring other people to cabralsupportgroup.com. So that's the free support group. But the other thing is this, I'm doing the 21-day functional medicine detox. I am going to do my functional medicine detox starting on September 20th. If you'd like to join me, I love being able to do it with hundreds, and typically it's thousands of people that are all joining together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together this offer at stevencabral.com/detox. It's just Steven with a PH, so it's STEPHENCABRAL.com/detox. What you're going to get right there is you are going to get the free detox course valued at $300, the free support for life inside of the Cabral support group. If you're not already a member, you are going to get a free detox as well, meaning we're doing a buy 3, get 1 free. So it's a $100 value, completely free for you while supplies last and during this week. So all this week, while supplies last, head on over to stevencabral.com/detox to save $100 and join us this September on your own 7, 14, or 21 day detox. Take care, everyone. Let us know if there's any questions.